Yeah, good to be back. You're still on to Arise Africa on your channel of champions, ACBN. Always good to know that you're joining us every morning like this to start up your day and, of course, learn about some events in the country and on the global scene. I remain Adeolu Balogun, bringing to you the third segment of Arise Africa, which is the People's Parliament, a segment specially designed for our esteemed viewers out there to air your opinions, share your views, and, of course, let's have your contributions with regards to national issues. Before we went on that break, we said we're going to look at, obviously, an issue that really borders on virtually, if you ask me, practically all the sectors in the country, and that's the recent action that was taken against the CBN governor, Lamido Sanusi. Well, according to the federal government, it was the presidency has given up a reason that he was actually suspended due to alleged misconduct, misappropriation, and some other reasons being given by the presidency. These are allegations, and of course, Sanusi in due time is expected to defend such allegations. Now, the reaction from Sanusi is that he's going to sue the federal government for that suspension. Now, this morning, however, we shall together be looking at the constitutional provision of that, what really gives the presidency the right to suspend the CBN governor. We shall be looking at some sections, some parts specifically in the 1999 constitution of Nigeria as amended, and of course we are looking at some other reactions from Sanusi himself, from some oppositions, from some financial pundits in Nigeria, and of course from the likes of ex-minister Ezekwesili, and of course even the sitting finance minister Okonjo-Iweala. These people have come together to say a few things. And of course, well, a governor in Lagos State, that Governor Babatunde Fashola, has also said a few things. There have been reactions right from that sack, right from that suspension, rather, and of course some other reactions. And of course, don't forget, it's a democratic state. Like we always stress, it's up to you to give us your reaction, your side of the story. What do you feel about the suspension of Sanusi? Do you really think that it's good for not only the economy but even the image of the country in the Western scene? Let's have your views this morning. Let's have your reactions with regards to the recent suspension of Alhaji Lamido Sanusi of the Central Bank of Nigeria by President Goodluck Jonathan. And of course, don't forget, we don't do this alone. With me in the studio this morning, I have my partners on the program, Sonny Oyinbo and of course Paul Lansing. Good morning, Sonny.
Morning to you.
How are you this morning?
Wonderful, great.
You really look like the man from the Niger Delta this morning.
Well, I am from the Niger Delta.
How are you this morning?
I'm great.
How's the week been?
The week has been successful, and thank God it's happening. Today is Friday. We're wrapping up the week today, hopefully.
I like that. Thank God it's Friday. Paul Lansing, you have same story there.
Yeah, it has been a very wonderful week, and thank God everything that was outlined throughout the week, God has been able to bring to pass. So I thank God. It has been a wonderful week.
You guys are really looking colorful. Perhaps you should just send your names as nominees for the next CBN governor. Okay, well, like we said, we shall be looking at issues surrounding that sack. Do you really think it's controversial? Is it coming at the right time? What are the consequences of such actions? Your comments are highly respected on the program. Now, let's quickly start on this note. Well, Polanti, let me start with you this morning. Now, how do you feel? What came up in mind when you heard of the when you got reports with regards to the suspension of Sanusi Lamido?
When that came up, actually, I felt it was a little, let me say, a little mistake. You understand? And why I regard is on the presidency of the presidency, yes.
Okay, let's have this reaction quickly. Good morning.
Good morning, Adeolu. How are you this morning?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, my contribution is about the Sanusi suspension. Sanusi suspension is overdue. Sanusi should not be making any noise because suspension is overdue. It's supposed to be sacked, not suspended. Because what Sanusi is doing in our government now is a politics. Sanusi is no longer serving Nigeria, but Sanusi now is a politician. We all know that Sanusi is working under the APC now. So Mr. President have done a very nice job by giving him suspended. Sanusi is supposed to be sacked, not suspended. Sanusi cannot play with all Nigerians by telling us 10 point something million is missing in the federal account. Later and come back again saying 20 million is missing in our account. This is the politics. So we are tired of policies. So the best thing is the president should do is to sack him, not suspending him. As I have said earlier, if when is the Baba is the president of that country, Sanusi cannot be playing with the Baba. Sanusi has already been sacked for a long time, but good luck is a God-fearing man. That's why he gives Sanusi one time to improve his work, but he don't want to improve. Rather, he went ahead and doing a policy with Nigerian economy. So I want to use this opportunity to thank Mr. President for taking a very big, bold step and suspending him. I would love if Mr. President would ask him, not suspending him. I was very, very happy here. So thank you for listening. That's my contribution.
Thanks, our friend from South Africa. Well, let's quickly make reference to what a member of the House of Reps said yesterday in reaction to the suspension of Lamido Sanusi. According to Osage, that's Samson Osage, precisely from Edo, from a constituency in Edo State, he argued that according to the CBN Act of 2007 as amended, does not empower the president or anyone else to suspend the CBN governor. He said section 11 subsection 7 only empowered the president to remove the governor subject to the approval of 2/3 majority in the Senate. Now, this man calls from South Africa and says that Sani should have been sacked. Yeah. Well, in as much as he agrees with the removal, whatever, either being suspended or being sacked or from the presidency, do you think that he should have also been sacked?
That was I said that the step taken was a mistake. Number one, if you look at it, there was no provision in the CBN Act. Let's establish
for suspension.
That. Yes. Then number two, the issue of financial allegation, consider the fact that it was, they call it financial recklessness and financial misconduct.
Okay, we'll come to that. Let's take this one quickly. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Mr. Sunday Ibo, it's good to join you again.
Thank you.
Morning. I just want to have a little contribution for what you are discussing on the line. About the second of the CBN governor. At least it's a welcome development for Nigeria. It's supposed to be sacked and even put to the cops immediately. You cannot even just suspend and leave him alone. You can have a man to talk. You're supposed to sack justice immediately because that is not mercy. You cannot be playing a government fund because you don't want to use your department very, very well. The government is taking case just very lightly. If your department is not good, the government will shoot you to court straight. Not to sack you and leave you. They will catch you, put you to court. You face it because it's a fraud, it's an option. Because in Nigeria, they will just sack you and suspend you and leave you, then the person still get mad. It's a welcome event. We Nigeria welcome it because it doesn't already develop very, very well. That is, CBN governor is not his own personal company or personal property. If as a governor of CBN, automatically Nigeria is fair. If you cannot give a good account of money, who will kill you? Is it the president or the minister or the governor of the state? Is him is the core of the economy, so he knows what he's doing. We are tired of hearing stories to even the very wasted too much time. Suppose sack him very, very long time and put him to justice. So they come and tell us we are on holiday. But anyway, it's not the movement.
You know, reaction to that. Now, two Nigerians obviously have called from South Africa.
And the truth is, If we look at the investigation that have been going on based on the NNPC issue and the oil sector itself, you discover that when the CBN governor leaked that letter between him and President Goodluck Jonathan, I think that was the beginning of their, misunderstanding. And definitely you don't expect we'll have a call. Let's pick Austin's call.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Austin.
Thank you, Mr. Adeolu. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Mr. Sando Ibo and Mr. Paul Arnson. This is Austin calling from Kano. It's good to join you this beautiful morning. Let me say that until the rule of law supersedes personal interest, then we wouldn't have a lawful society. Well, in my opinion, whether Sanusi's comment has certain irregularities concerning figures, $20 billion, $10 billion, $12 billion, the truth is, money is still missing. And his sack came at the wrong time. If he is being accused of financial recklessness, he should have been sacked long ago, not before he began blowing the whistle. Because his sack becomes suspicious that actually money is missing, and the Minister of Petroleum has questions to answer regarding that, and Sanusi's sack could be a way of shielding the corruption in the oil industry. And it is not good for our economy, because whether you like it or not, take it or leave it, like it or hate it, the international community is watching what goes on in our country. And whatever negative impression it creates, it would definitely affect investors. The truth that we must stand up to is that there are leakages in our economy. Monies are being stolen. Now, people are entitled to their opinion, and like I always say, truth will emerge when there is a free expression of views and opinion. The ordinary Nigerian do not know how much the country makes daily from the sales of crude oil. It is the entitlement of the masses to know the revenue that accrues to their nation on a regular basis. That way, the government and the leaders will be held accountable, because the masses have been subjected to undue hardness and hardship. Take the kerosene subsidy, for instance. How many filling stations sells kerosene at 50 naira? And if the NNPC or the Ministry of Petroleum is spending 700 million naira daily on kerosene subsidy, it is unacceptable. It is a pure fraud. It is corruption. It is thievery, official thievery. So what I'm saying is, the law, the constitution should be followed. Rule of law should be upheld. Sanusi, if he is found wanting in terms of handling finances, the law should take its course. That's why we advocate and we emphasize on the strengthening and a reconstruction of the law, so that the law takes its course, no matter who is involved, whether the president or whether the CBN governor. Let the law take its course. Nobody should be above the law in the country. And unless that is done, we will still have this anarchy, recklessness. That is the difference between the developing nation and the developed nation. In advanced countries and in advanced democracies, the law is respected and seen as the final authority. Nobody becomes above the law. So, but what we're saying is that we want our economy to move forward. We want those in government to be accountable, to be honest, to be morally upright, so that our nation can move forward and we will project a better light of our country at the international level. We hope we come out of these challenges. God help us and see us through. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
I think I'm really going in line with what Mr. I don't want to be partial in as much as I want to try to be neutral, but for once, I think Nigerians they need to start understanding that there's a need to leave some parastatals independence. The CBN for once. Do you understand? Yeah, I don't know if you have a contrary reaction to that. I guess that's where Mr. Nelson is coming from.
Yes, you see, like I was trying to establish this fact that in the idea of try to suspend him at this point in time is actually an attempt to try to cover certain things. You understand? Because his suspension at this time does not even call for it. There are still allegations, investigations on the issue of
still hearing
so for you to now suspend them,
we'll come to that. Good morning. Good morning.
It's not a surprise. Good morning. I think I love what our president did by suspending Sanusi, CBN governor. I think he's not supposed to suspend him. It's better to sack him, because it is too holy and it is sacrilege that we hear in the media that 49.7 billion is missing. Then he later reduced it to 20, then 15 billion. So I see it as a politics, which is not supposed to happen. I think Sanusi has to give account of that money, whether he suspend or sack or fire. He must give an account of that money. Nigerians are not illiterate people or people that is blind. So you should stop playing politics. APC party should not be using Sanusi. I think it's party. The APC that is using him. That is why APC, but that is why they are so interested about that case. So what Jonathan did is the right thing. Nobody should blame him. He did the right thing by suspending him. And Sanusi must give account of that money. He must give the accurate account of that money.
Thanks for calling. Well, our callers have really shared very important, diverse views this morning. It is their money, so they have a right to say something about their missing, their money which is missing, allegedly missing by Sanusi. But let's look at the reasons being given by the federal government for this suspension. According to a copy, of course, that we received in our office, the council indicates that the explanation provided by the suspended CBN governor is a clear display of incompetence, nonchalance, fraud, wastefulness, and abuse of due process, and deliberate efforts to misrepresent facts on the part of the leadership of the CBN. Now, looking at this, would you say it's somewhat a justifiable reason to suspend this man?
Well, I think the major issue now, I don't see the CBN governor as the man that is the main problem now. I think where this thing is coming from is from the oil sector, and it should be investigated properly.
Okay, let's take this reaction. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, Chukudi, good to have you this morning.
My name is Chukwu from Ghana. Yeah, fine. Please, I want to know that a CBN is not a political office. So, if for Sanusi, if Sanusi
foul play in the office or in NFP office, he should have contacted the president before going to media. Now, when he first of all, they lead to media and then they lead to opposition. He called a conference and tells the world that there is something is missing. That president is hearing it from the media. So,
well, we still lost. It wasn't really clear, but I'm
sure you see, one thing about
opinion that it's not a political officer. But let's look at some of these consequences because of time. Now, do you see any direct consequences, any negative consequences of this suspension on the CBN and on the nation's economy?
Of course, it will have its own impact, because at this point in time, with all the programs he has lined up, we see what he has been doing over the time, and he would have been allowed to fill, because his tenure is very, very, just a little while he will complete his tenure.
One of the consequences was revealed yesterday by Lagos Governor Babatunde Fashola.
Yeah.
Now we know that Sanusi has undertaken some tasks recently in strengthening the naira against dollar, and as of yesterday, I recall that the naira actually lost 4 against the dollar. So now Nigeria has lost 4 naira with the sack of the. Now, do you see that going a bit further, or do you see? I don't. How do you analyze the consequences of this suspension?
That's what I'm saying. The implication of that is that it will have a lot of impact on the economy, because with the program, he is the one that knows the best way he wanted to align the whole thing. We all see how he put down the cashless policy, and going about it has really helped Nigerians, to adjust in terms of spending and all of that, even though it was not convenient for some people. But yet, one way or the other, we are getting used to it in some states where the thing has been effective. For instance, in Lagos, people are getting used to the cashless policy, and they are now thinking of a better way of doing their business. So, but you see, some of this program, the moment is being they remove him or suspend him, definitely it will affect the system, and someone again will have to start all over again, and it will tell on the economy. Look at the process. We surely, and then with all the financial inclusion method and all of that is also bringing it. So before you know it, definitely it will affect the whole system. We know him truly well, that is someone that is so outspoken, is a very lousy person. He talks anyhow, anywhere he goes to. But at the same time, these are his traits, and probably maybe because of his sincerity, he felt he's sincere enough in terms of his listening to come out and tell the public this is the situation of things at this point in time. Even though there are certain things that the president expect him not to have, for public consumption at this point in time. And I believe these are part of some of the things that is actually making them to take this step. But at the same time, it should have been cautioned or called to order. This, but not that not that to just suspend him and then before we know it, because it will affect our economy. It will surely have, it has a lot of impact on our economy.
Okay, well, Sonny, let's look at it literally. Sanusi was suspended, and almost immediately there was a recommendation that the deputy that this lady Sarah should actually take to take the position of acting CBN governor. And almost immediately, Sonny, as we were even receiving the reports, we were hearing of the nomination of some other persons to take positions of the central bank governor. Of course, their names are presently with the Nigerian Senate to deliberate on that and for approval as well. Now, would you see that as a suspension, as been said to Nigerians? Is it really a suspension, or?
Well, I don't see. I think it's an act of. He's just preparing his mind for the sack, because you cannot be suspending someone and sending a nominee. It shows that you're really ready, even though his tenure will be expiring 21st of June. Yes. But that is not the issue now. Even if he's suspended or he's been sacked, I think the truth is still remains, like Mr. Austin said, the fact still remains that there is still fund missing. And with his interview with CNBC Africa, he also told them that even though he's been suspended, it doesn't rule out the fact that funds is still missing. And I think Nigerians should be more interested on what happened to the fund. Because if the fund is not in the CBN's accounts, and NNPC is saying the money is not with them, where is the money? That is the crux of the whole issue now. Where is the fund? That's what we're talking about. So even if you suspend him or you bring in new person into play, it doesn't rule out the fact that fund is missing. And that is the major issue we're talking about. It's not even his suspension. We know his suspension to a large extent or to some extent because tenor is already out at least. He should be, by now, he must have exhausted all the plans he has for the financial sector because he just has a few more months to go. But if we want to look at the suspension itself, and how it will affect the economy, I think it has to do in terms of, like you mentioned, talking about the dollar and the Nigerian currency and also other countries. I think to a large extent it's going to affect in that area. And talking about the investigation, I think the president is looking at it as an easy way of having access to investigating because you cannot be investigating while he's there. So I think if the president is suspending him now, it's just to give them room to really investigate properly without him interfering in investigation. I just see it that way.
Well, I guess that's just where we draw the curtains of today's edition of People's Parliament. Sanusi has been suspended, and of course, some names have been submitted to the Nigerian Senate. It is really highly, if you'd ask me, very controversial, and Nigerians have continually reacted to that. I assure you that there will be definitely more reactions over the weekend. But, well, we'll bring you part of the story at 2, and of course some other parts of the reactions as well. Do join us at 2 for our news in full, and of course a big thanks to Paul Antina and Sonia Ibo, who always make it a part of their schedule to be part of the success on ACBN to Rise Africa. And for our esteemed viewers out there, thanks for being up success this morning as well. Don't forget, it's always cool to stay with God. Enjoy the very best of His grace and mercies until we come your way on Monday for another edition of Arise Africa. I remain Adeolu Balogun, urging you to enjoy the very best of the weekend as you stay in God. Bless you.
ACBN, the channel of champions.